despite the fact that I know very little or nothing about Harry Nilsson, I'm going to present a few albums and talk about Harry Nilsson on Heavenly Album Covers. And here's an album by Harry Nilsson called Do It On Monday, and that's a little bit of a play on some sort of words there. It's an interesting cover. We've got a full face picture of Harry Nilsson with sunglasses. He's very much unshaven, wearing gigantic headphones and a cap. And over here in the side corner is another Harry Nilsson in a bathrobe, sticking his finger towards the headphones there. He's got a angel halo over his head, and it's actually a very beautiful photo and a very effective cover. And this album was supposed to be called, as legend has it, God's Greatest Hits. And here we have a fold out here with the old title and the same photograph. Everything else in this album is pretty standard. There's lots of lyrics, and here are all the participants in the album. There's the great Jesse Ed Davis, who also played with John Trudell, and Van Dyke Park's up here. Just everybody's here somewhere. And here's Ringo, and there's Ringo and someone else down here. And here on the back we have Harry Nilsson with some more halos. He's goofing around making faces. And so Harry Nilsson was born in Brooklyn, New York a long time ago. He no longer is alive, and he moved from Brooklyn to LA, and he worked as a computer programmer at a bank, and he became very enamored with music and harmonies, and he had one or two songs performed by the Monkees on their albums. And here's another album by Harry Nilsson called Son of Schmelson. Here he is as a Dracula figure. He looks pretty scary, and this is taken on some sort of staircase or balcony. And again, inside are vast pictures of all the participants in the album. And there's Richard Perry, their producer. There's Ringo again. And it's an old, this album has an old RCA Victor label on it. It's pretty clever, and there's some strange things written on the edge of the inner sleeve. Here's some liner notes on the back of Son of Schmelson, and there's Harry Nilsson goofing around as he always did. This album also came with a gigantic poster, which basically mimics the front cover of the album. So it's quite a package there. Along with Son of Schmelson, we've got an album called Son of Dracula, which I'm assuming is a soundtrack from his movie that he was in, an Apple movie, and it stars Harry Nilsson and Ringo Starr. And this album folds out. It's kind of neat, and it's a big wide view of more of the participants here. And there's Ringo right there, and Harry Nilsson. He's got that same pose going on. He loved that pose. And this album is on Zapple, or Rapple. It's on Rapple Records. Son of Dracula. It's kind of a strange label, but it works. This came out in 1972, a long time ago. And Harry Nilsson had his recorded debut in 1967 with an album called Pandemonium Shadow Show. He also collaborated with Randy Newman. He had a little part in a children's film called The Point. And his early albums were very, very poppy, very well made. They were almost like XTC albums, very precise, like Andy Partridge might do. And the first couple of albums are just amazing. And then he evolved into other things after that. Here's another Nilsson album. It's got a record store sticker on it. And this one's called That's the Way It Is. And there's Harry Nilsson in his room, his studio apartment, his hotel room. He's reading Penthouse magazine and Esquire magazine. Looks like a very peaceful, cozy look. And this album cover sprawls across the gatefold. And there's a political poster, and there's the other album we looked at, God's Greatest Hits. And it actually turns out it's a pretty messy room here, but there's Harry Nilsson smoking away, reading Penthouse magazine. And pretty boring liner notes. Looks like he's hanging out with somebody here. Is that Billy Preston? It just might be. And this is on RCA. And finally tomorrow, last night, finally we have Pussycats by Harry Nilsson. And this album cover is quite peculiar. It's some sort of diorama, and John Lennon helped produce this album. And there they are, dressed up with hats, and they're dressed up as little pussycats in a little children's setting there. And looks like John Lennon is trying to comb Harry Nilsson's hair. Harry Nilsson is holding a mirror, and they're all getting ready to do something. It's a very interesting setting. There's a yin-yang symbol there, and got some fake wood grain paneling in the back. And the legend has it that down here there's a D and a S, and that's missing the letters R-U-G in the middle, but not sure if that's true. And there's a little puppy, a little stuffed puppy down there. And they both signed either corner of the album here. And the backside just has an empty table where the two guys were, Harry Nilsson and John Lennon. And as usual, Harry Nilsson liked to put lots of photos of his collaborators in the gatefold. So here's everybody. There's Keith Moon right there. And there's Ringo again right there. And lots of lyrics. Now this album is incredible on pretty much only one point, in that it's incredibly loud. It was recorded very loud, and it was mastered very loud. So sometimes if you're in the wrong mood, it can be a little bit painful to listen to, but it has a couple of good songs. It's like a free-form party, And anyway, Harry Nilsson did a bunch of other stuff. He did some bigger movie soundtracks. He wrote a song for Three Dog Night, and was a singer in the movie Midnight Cowboy. That's Harry Nilsson. I don't know anything about Harry Nilsson, but we got through that one.